Last game of the season, so it's winding down. We've got a lot to play for as far as seeding. I don't know if we can go way up, but I think we end up 4 or 5. It depends on what UNLV does at San Diego State, and it depends on how we finish the year. We're going into the game looking forward to playing Nevada. They got a good team. I don't know if Coleman's going to be back. He's one of the best players in the league. I don't know if he's going to be back from an ankle injury. I don't know if they'll save him for the tournament. I don't know because I'm not in their camp. So he's a terrific player. They're starting 2 freshmen. I think Cameron Oliver's probably, one of the better freshmen in the league, but Hemsley's probably by far the freshman of the year. So, they got a good young group, and they got some veteran groups with Fenner and Chriswell, and if Coleman plays, of course, he gives them another dimension. And then Cooper's a really good shooter. So, always hard to win on the road. We struggled on the road. We won 2 early, and then we've had a hard time. So, trying to get our guys ready for that. And, I think our guys are excited. I think they see a clean slate after this week and can try to go up. Just hopefully we're not in the play-in game, which would be hard with 6 and 11, but that's part of it. Hope we're in the 4 or 5 game. So maybe see what happens there, but a lot of it's undecided yet.
Do you prepare any differently with the Coleman question still up in the air, or do you prepare as though he's going to play?
We're going to prepare like he's going to play, Jeff. I don't know. I think the Colorado State game, he was on crutches. I think his last game at Boise State, I don't know if he was on crutches because it was the Mountain West Network, and I really didn't get a lot of shots of their bench, so I don't know if he came out in crutches or whatever. I just know that they said it's reported that he hasn't progressed like they should.
Coach, you going to stay there in Nevada or come back home?
We have to come back. So we're going to come back. We'll fly back Sunday, and then we'll leave Tuesday. So we'll leave Tuesday morning at 11:30. But we have to come back by the rules, and we need to come back. We need to get back in our own schedule and do all that.
How important is it to get momentum? You talked about the guys.
Well, we've had a tough go. I mean, we really have. I don't. It's not an excuse. We haven't been good on the road late. We played a Colorado State team that can really score it. We haven't been solid defensively, and they kind of got us after they had some losses, and they need to get over a hump. They played a little bit more hungrier than we did. Air Force, we played really, really well and let that one get away, and then we have the 2 best teams coming in home, and weren't able to get over the hump, and now we got to go to Nevada. So, we've had a little stretch here, and hopefully they've learned from that. But it's good. We got to go in and try to play really well against Nevada and hopefully come out with a win. And that kind of leads you into the next thing. The only tough thing is you might have to face them again in the first round, and that's hard to beat anybody 3 times in a row, let alone back to back. So that'll be interesting. But it'll see how it all pans out. I don't know if there's any scenario we can get 3. There's no scenario we can get 3, so it's going to be, if we're 4, 5, or 6. I think if we win, we're 4, and if we lose, we have to wait and see what happens in the other one and see if we're 5 or 6.
So
I think that's the way it works out.
So what are the keys? What's like the major focus going?
Well, I think the biggest thing in the San Diego State, I just got done. I had some of the guys come in and watch tape. I think the biggest thing in the San Diego State, I thought we did a nice job. I thought they shot the ball extremely well for them. As far as Pope and Hemsley and Kell made some timely shots. I thought we played very, very one-sided basketball. What I mean one-sided, where we didn't move the ball. I thought we moved the ball really well in the first half, and it was a pretty good game in the first half. I mean, we were right there at halftime. We kind of gave them a 5-0 run in the last 1 minute of the first half, which hurt us. And then we came out, and at one time it was 37-31. And then we just started playing one-side basketball. We didn't trust each other, and I think those guys, I showed enough on tape, and I think I've showed them that if we play together and we move the ball, we're able to score it. But I thought defense was a little bit better, even though they scored 80, but I thought we did some good things, and they made some timely shots. So this thing is we got to move the ball. We got to pound it inside to Tim. One thing that San Diego State did that we didn't do a good job, we didn't get the ball. When we did get it out Tim's hand and reverse it, or he threw it on the other side, we got whatever we wanted. We just didn't do that enough of that. So offensive, we got to share the ball, and everybody's got to play it. Everybody's got to touch it, and then we got to continue to work on our defense.
There's been so much time since the first time we saw
Mhm.
that.
Whole season, JRs. Whole season.
How much can you take from that previous meeting with them?
I don't think a lot, just because they're a little bit different. They don't have a very deep bench. I think Stivrins is out for the year, and they don't play a lot of guys. So Coleman played a lot that game in the first game, and he hasn't played for a while. So we don't know what's going to happen. We're just going to try to get better. We're going to try to play our game and get better and see what happens.
Are there any similarities between the end of the year struggles last year and this kind of 4-game streak?
I don't think any similarities. I just think we got in a rut right here. Here's, I think, the biggest thing with my team, and I've tried to explain this, and I think I said it on the radio last night. We finished up 7-6 out of conference. And usually when you play in the tournaments that we play in, you're either going to be 9-4, 10-3 at a good thing. But when you finish up 7-6, it's just like I said to somebody last night, what do you expect you're going to do in conference? I mean, you're picked 6th. You got a whole new team. You've only had one guy that's went through the conference and played any amount of time, and that was Cullen. And O's been there, but he's never played it a little bit. Last year he went through it, but we were 7-11. So, what was the expectations? Well, our expectations always is to win and try to win championships and excel, and that my expectations are higher than anybody else's. My fans, my players, that's my expectations of the program. Have we lived up to them? No. That's my responsibility. But going into the conference season at 7-6, did I think that we could win it? I had convinced them that we could win it. And I thought 7-2 and going into San Diego State and what happened, and then we lost to Utah State. I think a young team just looks at it and goes, well, what are we playing for now? We can't catch them. They don't understand seeding. They don't understand, hey, there's another season. And so now I've had to kind of regroup in my approaches, because when I started talking about seeding, you could see there was more pressure on them in a young group. And they've never been through any adversity. They've always never had failure because they've always won in high school, or they've done good here. And last year was our a weird deal. But so I'm just going into this week in small games. We're going to have small goals. Do the right thing in this 4 minutes. Let's hold them under 6 or 7 or 8, and let's play defense like what page are we on? What are we doing? What are we doing in ball screen? We got to rebound. So I'm just going to go with this young group the rest of the way out and just do small goals. And if we can accomplish that, then I think we'll be okay. But it's got to be smaller doses because they don't understand it.
Coach, in layman's terms, for Lobos.
Layman
and around
terms?
the state,
What's that?
they would ask the question, Coach, how badly do your Lobos want it?
To win, I think they all want to win. I think they have a lot of pride. I just don't think they know how to fight together. It's always greater in a pack, but we got them kind of going on by themselves. So hopefully I think they got a lot of pride. We'll see how bad they want it. Sometimes it looks like they really want it, and then sometimes it looks like they don't. So that's part of the battle right now.
Health-wise, where are you guys at health-wise? Is Cullen, I know, banged his head. Is Cullen okay?
I don't know what. I won't know until I get back upstairs what the status is with that.
And just to be clear, when he banged his head, he did return to that game. So did he pass?
I think he got cleared,
He did
and then
pass
he
the
has.
initial
Yeah,
test.
he was cleared, but I think they still checked him out. But I think he's going to be fine. And then O's just got his bone bruise on his knee, but I think he's going to be okay.
You mentioned
Mhm.
your expectations higher than anybody else.
Right.
At this point with a 4-game funk you're trying to get out of,
Right.
do you feel any of the external pressure from fans or administration or anything like that?
What do you mean external pressure? I mean just from.
I mean, the words hot seat and
I'll just say this: I expect to be the coach here up to 2020. So that's my expectations.
you mentioned. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, along those lines, have you had anybody approach you or talk to you about anything other than about the future of your coaching here? Have
No.
you had any conversations with anybody?
No.
You mentioned Cam Oliver as one of the best freshmen 1 game left.
He's second.
So Hemsley, in your mind, is clearly the freshman of the year.
Mm-hmm.
What about player of the year? Is it still a 3-man race in your mind, or let me not put that number in your mind?
I don't
How
know
many
what
people are
I
up?
don't. It's Marvell Harris, Josh Adams, and Elijah, but I don't know how people will vote. It's a weird deal because I think you guys do your own, which you guys should, because media should have their own team just because it recognizes more than enough. I think we need to recognize as many players as we can in our conference. I think it'll come down to those three, and I don't know how they'll vote, Jeff, because it's not really somebody from the winning team. It's kind of a unique year.
Is it fair to say, though, that in the past when people have picked that player from the winning team, I think it's fair to say at this point that's probably not going to happen. There's not a player of the year off that San Diego State team this year.
I think Winston Shepard could be.
Okay.
I think the only thing that's is a little bit different with him is that he's only averaging about 10 points a game. Kendall Williams was on the winning team. He averaged like 13 points a game, 13.7, I think. But I just think it's been a weird year as far as offensively with the new shot clock and you know, Josh Adams and Marvell, those seniors, what they've done, and then what Elijah's done when he came on the scene. So I think that's why it's a unique year. And there's not – I think San Diego State's an outstanding team. They don't have one main guy like they've had before with Thames and those guys.
Do you think it's pretty clear cut, though, in terms of some of the other awards? Is the newcomer of the year? Is there anyone else other than Elijah? Is there a freshman in your mind? You said Hemsley's clearly.
I think Hemsley will win it just because he's on the best team, and I think he has the best numbers. Now, if I'm not going to tell you who I'm going to vote for, and I don't know who I'm going to vote for, but the only thing about Cam is the Oliver kid is that he's the only freshman ever to average a double-double, so that'll come into effect.
Coach, since Tuesday night, how have you rectified the defensive problems of your team?
I haven't seen him. This is the first time I've seen him. Today will be the first time I practice, so nothing's been done until I see him today. Yesterday was an off day, mandatory off day, just because
Can
we
you
say,
rectify the defensive
Yeah.
problem?
yeah, I think we can.
Did you mention the other night that JJ has future?
JJ's going to go play somewhere else, and he just didn't want to be a part of. He's a selfless kid, and he just wanted, we're gonna let him go play a Division II next year. He's had Achilles problems. I don't know. His health is okay. It's not great. He had a hard time running last year, so we let him. He wasn't going to be able to help us. He was worried about his injury, so we basically let him get well, and then we're going to let him go play Division II, or if he wants to go play Division I somewhere at a lower level. That's what he wishes to do, and I don't know. I got to help him with that after the season.
Has there been any time during this 4-game losing streak where you sensed that some of your players maybe were just tired of the season, they're ready for this thing to come to an end?
I think I've sensed that there's a lot of things that go on around our program, a lot of noise that goes around outside of our program that has affected our guys, and I think I don't think they've ever experienced it like they have this year, and I don't think any of them experienced it because those guys didn't play last year. Cullen didn't play, Tim Williams didn't play, Elijah didn't play, the freshmen didn't play, and I don't think they realized the I don't know how you put this, but the noise storm that we have in this city, because our program's our program, and it's important, and I don't think they've ever experienced that. I don't think they've ever come to the point where I looked at them and I think they've shut down. No.
How would you say it affects them?
Well, they're kids. How's it going to affect any kid? I think there's a positive effect. There's a negative effect. I think any time that you have 24/7 radio, 24/7 newspaper, 24/7 whatever, internet, Facebook, Twitter. I think some of you guys know us. I know Jeff knows our guys are pretty active on Twitter. So it's not like they don't see stuff. So I think that has effect on young kids that have never been through it.
You've had some of those guys call you and say,
No, they just want to know if we're all right. They just call. It's out there. Stuff that goes on the internet and stuff that's written in the paper and stuff. It's not like people live in a cave. So I try to live in a cave, but not everybody does.
Is that a tough thing to address with them when they call you?
Not really, because there's nothing changed. So, the biggest thing is we just go forward and keep trying to get better. They're concerned about our guys, and they know they're playing hard, but we're going to end up 4th or 5th in the conference. And to be realistic, you always want to win it, but new team, we'll figure out what we'll go forward. But I think we got a chance to make a run.
So it's more of a, their concern for you guys, not so much a concern coming here to.
No, it's not. Has nothing to do with coming here. Just concerned with, hey, how are you doing? How you holding up? How's everything going?
From a coach's standpoint, with a new squad, how long does it usually take for?
It shouldn't take this long. Well, I just don't. I've never had one, JP. I don't think we've ever had one like this. I mean, well, let me just put it this way. I know we haven't. So, it's been trying and difficult, discouraging sometimes, but I got good kids. You just got to keep working with them.
You spoke last year about how you still reach out to coaches a lot.
Yep.
You still doing that? And
Yeah, I've had a lot of coaches reach out to me. I haven't reached out to a lot of coaches today, but I've had a lot of coaches reach out to me the last 2 weeks. So, I think it's just the people that are close to me.
is it basketball or is it
A
non-basketball?
little bit of everything.
All right, that I guess.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.